a congressman who's the head of a major committee who has been tasked with fixing this comes up to you and says, okay, what do I do? How do I fix it? What do you think I should do? What do you tell them?
Again, you're going to have to, it starts at screening. And I don't think it's so much about making sure that your applicant hasn't smoked pot a couple of times, which again used to be a way to screen out certain demographics. It was like, well, let's make sure that we don't have any people from certain demographics getting in. So we'll make sure that if you've done X, you can't get in. That was very common, by the way, when marijuana was the bottleneck for many agencies. What's funny, a lot of Caucasian applicants could get an exception to that rule if it had been so many years since their last usage, right? The other issue would be the psychological component. The screening process for psychology and the psychological profession behind law enforcement needs to be extremely more robust. I don't think you should just have to go through one psychological evaluation before you're hired. You should have to go through like 3. And I want to know how come department psychologists aren't meeting with your wife if you're married, if you're male, or your spouse if you're just with someone. Why is it just a background investigator, someone who may be already predetermined that they want you as a cop? Why isn't your family unit being inspected if you are married? I'm not saying that should be a deciding factor, but let's interview your family. Let the psychologist talk to your parents, and your parents might say, I love my son or daughter, but they shouldn't be a cop. And maybe that's something departments should listen to. But, hey, I passed the psychological screening. Psychologist says I'm fine. I will tell you, it's not a very high standard. They're looking for aberrant behavior. You take 1 or 2 written bubble-in tests, the MMPI. You do a 1-hour oral interview, and someone's decided whether or not if you meet the minimum standard, not an elevated standard, to become a police officer. And that just drives me nuts.